All right, what is up, everybody? Tonight we are going to bear witness to the fourth installment of Romero's Living Dead trilogy. I made myself perfectly redundant. We're taking a look at the fourth installment of George Romero's Living Dead saga. That is going to be Land of the Dead, a quite overlooked, very underrated entry of the franchise. We're waiting for Robbie. He's going to be just a few minutes late. So I'm going to do my best here to entertain the people. We've got Aiden in the chat. We've also got crew member. How are you guys doing? This is going to be awesome. I love Land. I think we all love Land just a little bit at the very least. And it's really awesome to see that it is kind of having a people coming around to it and actually giving it its fair shake that it rightfully deserves. I mean, I remember really enjoying this one whenever it came out. It was fairly new on video, or I guess it was DVD at the time, but I remember when that came out, it was just a freaking awesome film to watch. Had a lot of fun with that one growing up. And even as an adult, I still have a lot of fun with it. So that's one thing that we can all really, if there's one thing we could appreciate for it, if nothing else, it's nostalgia. But I don't know, it's been a couple years since I've seen this one, so we'll really see if it still holds up as well as I like to believe it does. It's one that I'm pretty pretty keen on, I would say. Uh, I guess keen would be the right word. It's again just one that I have a lot of fun with. It's super gory, and hang on one second, everybody. We have the man of the hour waiting in the wings. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. Welcome the one, the only, the global Robby Sobel. How is it going tonight, man?
Here I am. I can't hear you, bro.
Uh oh. Testing, testing. Let's try to jump myself out of here real quick.
Can't hear you, man.
There we go. Is that better?
Much better, bro. We're good.
Awesome sauce. I gave you a sick ass introduction and everything there. Don't know if you heard that part.
I'll take your word for it.
Definitely check that out on the playback.
I appreciate it, man.
But yeah, I was just kind of. First of all, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Fucking,
Absolutely great.
fucking a, man.
Everything's rolling along, man. I'm excited to do another uh, George Romero watch along. We
Yeah,
are on Land of the Dead already. Can you believe that?
that is freaking insane, man. It's we were supposed to do this last week, but yours truly got a little sick and could not do Thursday. Was it last week or the week before?
Last week we postponed, and I guess it was the week. Yeah. We did Day of the Dead 2 weeks ago. So last week we were gonna do Land, but it didn't work out.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking about, because I remember I did go live Friday, and it was talking about just the worst installments of different series, and it's like, you know what? I'm sick and pissed enough. I can trash these movies apart, but I didn't want that to interfere with this. And now that I am back to relatively tip top,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
thank you, thank you. We got Chad in the house with his magical spoons. I opened my silverware drawer, and my spoons bear your face, Chad. You have ruined spoons for me forever, sir. But no, it's good to see you in here, Chad. Crew member says, Robbie, nice to see you, my dude. And Aiden says, hello, Robbie. Aiden bought the collector's edition of Land. Has a great tribute to the late Romero on it.
Yes, it does. The is that the Scream Factory version? That's a good version to have.
I would imagine
if you
so.
Had the original DVD Blu-ray that came out, that's actually really loaded with some good content. Unfortunately, when Scream Factory got the rights to the movie and were putting theirs together, Romero had already passed away. so they couldn't get any new content with him.
Right.
But they did port everything over from the previous release onto theirs, and then added some extra special features and whatnot. I think there's a commentary track with a bunch of the zombies, I believe, and a few others. I'm glad that this movie's getting some more love. When it first came out, it was maybe a year after the Dawn remake came out.
Yeah.
And people were still loving that one, so they kind of saw this, and it was back to the slow zombies, the social commentary, and it's just two different types of movies.
Right.
And what's trying to be said. So I think everyone was on the Dawn of the Dead train, enjoying the fast paced, kind of the more action horror.
Right.
So when Land came out, it was kind of like, meh. We've seen something faster and quicker a year ago, so what's this?
Yeah. It's funny because I've been trying to think about how it was back then because mind you, I'm having to think back 15 years here, and it's like I remember Dawn coming out and enjoying that.
Yeah.
And then this came out, and I guess I was half right when I assumed that, oh, Dawn of the Dead already has a sequel. Little did I know it was actually a sequel to the sequel of the real Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
But I kind of remember enjoying this one just a little bit more at the time that it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was. I noticed there was definitely something different, but I don't remember being completely aware of what the difference was.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, it's like the differences are clear as freaking day. Not to be confused with the third entry, Day of the Dead.
Yes. I think it's kind of a natural progression. I mean, we've talked about it on some of the previous watch-alongs that we've done. Like, people always ask, oh, are these sequels, do they all tie in? Do they happen in the same universe? So, once again, I'll say it now that we're on this fourth entry. And even though there's 6 dead Romero films, the next 2 really are kind of a different thing. So, and what I mean by that is Night of the Living Dead comes out in 1968. And I always say that film is, what would the first wave of a zombie apocalypse be? And just happened to take place in 1968. Okay, so that's here.
Yep.
Then you have Dawn of the Dead comes out in 1978. And that is basically what would the second wave of a zombie apocalypse look like? And it just happens to take place in 1978. Then Day, naturally, well, that's kind of the third wave of the zombie apocalypse. So, and it happens in 1985. So that first phase is, life is going well and shit's just starting to happen and no one knows what's going on. That second wave is shit's been going on. We really don't know how to handle it, but we're over the initial shock and now we just have to regroup. That third wave is we're feeling this fatigue. We have come to our senses and kind of come to grips with the fact that life is never going to be the same again. So where do we go from here? And let's try to form a plan and try to understand. Now with Land, that's the fourth and almost kind of final phase of the zombie apocalypse.
Right.
It just happens to take place in 2005. And at that point, we're just living our lives. There's a new generation of people that are being born into it and don't know any different. And the parallels between kind of the social political commentary is really heavy in this one. It's not so much that they're really shoving stuff down your throat. It's just the structure of the film. You have Dennis Hopper's characters living in the top of Fiddler's Green. He's kind of the president, so to speak. Then you have the kind of low middle class that are just trying to survive on the ground. And then you have people that are, that lower class that are following him because they're believing his BS,
right?
Believing the promises that he's making to him, to all of them, even though he has no intentions of following through. But they believe it. They want to believe it. So they're almost kind of fighting against their best interests to side with him. That sounds familiar if anyone's kind of paid attention to the world in recent times. Romero was very he's very on the pulse of what's going on at the time. And you watch a lot of his movies, one of the reasons why they hold up, even in some of the earlier films where maybe the special effects aren't there as much, like we talked about the makeup in Dawn, but that social political commentary carries over from generation to generation, and that's one of the main reasons why his films remain relevant decades later and years after he's gone. And I believe that they will moving forward.
Oh yeah, 100% without any doubt. I mean, there's always going to be struggle among the social divide, class divide, and like that's real. It all really goes back to upstairs, downstairs.
Yep,
Like
that's what we'll talk about. Upstairs, downstairs.
That's the root of all of it, and it's a constant struggle throughout each film. Sure, it changes from the its metaphorical sense, but it's still really the same fucking argument at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
and that's
even with this movie, we're going to talk about, should we be on the streets and trying to fight for ourselves? Do we side with the billionaire who's living in his castle, kind of laughing at the chaos down below? Do we side with him? That's just another way to do upstairs, downstairs.
Exactly.
Same thing with Day that we watched last time. Scientists or the military, upstairs, downstairs.
Exactly.
So it all intertwines. It's almost like Romero has a message in all of these movies, and he might have a lot of different messages in each one, but like the core of it is almost the same. He just tells it differently.
Exactly, and like you almost feel you can almost see that the message gets heavier with each film. Yes. Almost as if he's saying, you didn't listen to me the first time I said it. Here you go. I'm going to tell you guys again. And then the third time around, okay, they're not getting it. Let's hit them a little bit harder.
Yep.
And it keeps going until you're fucking blue in the face. Essentially,
yeah. I mean,
I don't know that that's the best way to metaphor or best way to make it a metaphor, but
it's fair. I think I don't know. The thing about Romero's movies is because I think a lot of people that I've noticed in the horror community skip over them. I think part of it is because they're a little older, maybe. But even people who like older films still skip over them because they say, well, I don't like zombie movies. The thing is, these movies are not just for people who like zombie movies. There's a lot of good zombie flicks out there that are just fun, like the Dawn remake, right? That's a fun zombie action movie. But if people aren't into zombie movies, they're probably not going to like it. But if you're not into zombie films, you can still watch a Romero zombie film and take something out of it because it's rooted in so much more than just the undead, the killing of the undead and the gore and whatever.
Exactly. And that's a point that I can really vouch for because I'm not the biggest fan of the zombie subgenre. Yeah. But the Romero zombie films, if I'm watching a zombie movie, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be by George Romero.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of just speaks volumes about him as a filmmaker and how a lot of horror fans I think really need to just realize that, hey, come around to him, just listen to what the man has to say, and you'll get it. Like, he doesn't make it too hard to understand.
Exactly, and he does it in a way where there is that social political commentary that we talk about, but it doesn't hammer you over the head with it, where you're almost kind of rolling your eyes and like, I don't want to deal with this. It's just too much. He does it in almost in a subtle way at times where it's not overwhelming, but it's still there.
Right.
Real quick before we start, I want to give it's a happy 37th anniversary to the horror movie that scared me the most as a kid. Wasn't Jason, wasn't Michael Myers, wasn't a George Romero movie. It was from a Stephen King short story, Children of the Corn.
37 years now.
Right.
Holy
there.
crap.
Isaac and Malachi.
That is insane, man.
And you know what? That movie scared me so much when I was a kid. I've watched my first horror movie when I was 4 in '88. I probably saw Children of the Corn like a year or two later. I was like 5 or 6. And that movie was the first one that made me feel like they would come after me. Like Jason wasn't killing kids and Michael wasn't killing kids.
Right.
Freddy, you had heard he went after children, but he didn't do the killing until they were teenagers.
Exactly.
But these two motherfuckers, especially this guy right here, Malachi.
Oh yeah.
I knew I was done, so I had to throw that out there quickly.
Yeah, that is a good that's a good catch right there. I tend to forget some anniversaries for films sometimes. I try to keep them written down, but
Yeah,
there's
I
a
saw it
couple.
on Twitter somewhere, and I go, man, gotta wear my Children of the Corn shirt. It's one of those movies that I think has kind of got lost in the shuffle as the years have gone on. People kind of just write it off as, oh, it's meh, and no.
Yeah, I think the reason why they do that is because they know that it spawned a franchise and its source material is a short story.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell does a short story spawn a movie franchise?
Yeah,
let alone a single movie adaptation.
And I think because a lot of the sequels have not been well received, it's almost kind of soured the original film. There's a few pretty good sequels, but some of them are not very good. I think the same thing kind of happened to Hellraiser.
Yeah.
You get a lot of these sequels that most people think are really trash. I think the franchise as a whole, I think, is a little underrated, but I get it. So because it spawned so many sequels that have been not well received by critics or fans, that people kind of roll their eyes at the original. It's almost hurt the original films.
Exactly.
So,
37 years,
that's
though.
not the case really for the Romero films, thankfully.
Not at all. It's like, with those, people at least have the sense to write off the sequels that they're not too keen on, which I guess that's fair enough. But, and I'm kind of guilty of that myself. So that's why it's like, fair enough, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, 37 years, though, for Children of the Corn. Holy cow, man.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Like, I was trying to think, 1970 what now? It's like, no, 1984. Like, absolutely mind-boggling.
Yep, the year I was born. So, I feel old saying that.
Oh, we all feel a little old, man. Let's see here.
I see something. So I don't know who it was. Somebody on my timeline, they posted something. I think they had turned 23. And they go, I can't believe it. I'm so old. I'm like, stop. Enjoy it now.
Exactly.
You have the unrated cut, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't know the runtime difference. I don't think it's that much. There's not much really at all difference in story. I don't think there's any scenes or anything that's different. I think it's just a couple of seconds here or there where they just kind of extend the gore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
While you cue that up, I'm just gonna get a drink real quick.
All right.
Right back.
Okay, I'm just gonna catch up with the chat here real fast. Yeah, Miss Carter, haven't seen many Night of the Living Dead remake or Dawn of the Dead. Not sure the name of the one that took place. Yeah, that was Dawn of the Dead, and I saw a crew helped you out on that one. Hell yeah. We got Matt Facci in here. Had to at least show some love to two awesome homies. Hell yeah. Thank you for stopping by, Matt. And that was a great Silence of the Lambs review today, man. It was good shit. Can't speak on the OG, but I had a blast with the remake. Yeah, the remake was a lot of fun. For sure. And yes, that's what I got going on too. And yes, the poster for that was freaking insane. One with a freaking hand on the fence. Remember
Well, you talking about the land poster?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one of my classmates actually had that on a hoodie and wore that to school. It was like
great.
fifth grade, and I'm like, Dude, like edgy was a word I didn't know, but in 5th grade, that's what I think that the word would have been that I used had I known it.
Yeah, right.
Like, man, that's edgy. That's hardcore. But yeah, I'm right at the point where with the black and white Universal logo,
All right, I'm playing it right now. I'll let you know. I just have the FBI warning thing on first.
All right.
I'll let you know right when things kind of pop up here.
Alrighty. Notice that my
yeah, that's the. Let's see here.
This player here is kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. It's just
right. I have the black and white Universal logo right now.
All right.
With the plane, the helicopter flying around it.
Yep.
Okay.
We are good to go. Thought it was pretty cool that they brought that logo back for this.
Yeah, I know. Romero actually requested that, which was pretty cool. Now, a lot of this script had been, a lot of it was written from the unused portion of the Day of the Dead scripts. Because remember, we talked about Day of the Dead when it got approved. Romero had been signed to do a 3-movie picture with the production company. But one of the kind of catches was that one had to be a sequel to Dawn.
Right.
And he did his first 2 movies with that Creep Show and then Night Riders. Recommend both of those. Night Riders, not a horror movie, but an interesting film. But unfortunately, he had a really big script, and he needed like $7 million or so to cover it. And $7 million seems like nothing now, and it really wasn't even a lot then. But for a smaller production company, it was a decent amount. So the producer told Romero, "Listen, I'll give you the $7 million, but you have to do it R-rated." And he said, "I can't do it R-rated. This is I need full, ability to do my story without really being restricted." And he said, "Listen, I'll give you the $7 million R-rated, or I'll give you half of it, and you can do whatever you want." So he said, "Fine." So he scaled down and cut the script in half almost, and
right.
And that ended up being what we got in Day. So a lot of the things in that unused portion of the script kind of got recycled over in Land.
All right. Do you happen to know off the top of your head some of the elements that made their way into here?
Well, I know that some of the, as we see, we'll see how the zombies are kind of caged off and more separated. There was a lot more of that. I believe there was something similar to the Dead Reckoning vehicle. Not the same, but some type of army truck, which would make sense.
Yeah, I think I do remember you briefing over that one real quick last time.
So there's a few things. Now, you're in the little graveyard or church area here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice little blue hue over the screen.
Romero has always said that he dislikes when CGI is used too heavily. So a lot of the stuff that we see is kind of practical effects mixed with CGI, but there are some things that you just cannot do with practical, certain things. I like a lot of these zombies here. The little banjo guys. Some of the stuff that you see with a head being carried and things like that. And this is Big Daddy. I had a chance to meet him a couple of years ago at Spooky Empire. Man, he was into it. He was all into it. This is like the only thing he's done that people know. So like his whole table is only Big Daddy from Land of the Dead.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think like in real life, he was like a used car salesman because he will sell you everything under the table. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, that's crazy.
He was a nice guy, but I ended up spending $50 on an autograph picture and a regular camera picture with him, and I'm like there were people who were like way more popular charging way less. And
dude has to pay to get back home, I guess.
That's it. But he did a good job in this. There's always kind of Romero has some feature zombies in some of his films. Obviously, Bub is the feature zombie in Day,
Yep.
and Big Daddy here is the feature zombie. There's John. Help me out with his last name. Leguizamo. I can
Yeah,
never pronounce.
Leguizamo, I think.
Yeah, he's just a great actor across the board.
Yes.
He is so good in this movie. As kind of he's one of the ones now. His name is Cholo in this. You posted on Facebook that we're going to be doing this.
Yes.
And I don't know who it was. Somebody like very almost kind of aggressively talked about how much they hated this movie, and even said something like, "I met George Romero and told him all my problems with the movie, and
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
right there he agreed with me that it was terrible." I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure he did. I'm sure your explanation changed his mind about his entire film." And one of his arguments was, whoever this person was, I don't know, remember the name, was this is not possible because none of these people would be following the rich leader in the castle, right?
Yeah, it
How
was
would the
something,
rich
something
people
about the
be
money.
controlling the guys with the guns? And it's like, clearly, if you just watch the news the last couple of years, that is very possible and highly likely.
Yeah, it's like even in this universe where the system we know has totally collapsed,
Yes.
they still feel in their minds that it means something. So they're still going to chase that feeling that kind of creates a sense of how things used to be.
Yeah,
And
they want to
I mean,
be in Fiddler's Green. They want
and
to be. There's a pipe dream and a promise of, oh, if you do this, this, and that, you could be inside safe with us.
right,
Oh, and there's a lot of impressionable people and gullible people, or just people who are hoping, taking that 1% chance that they'll reach that, and that's why they listen to the Dennis Hopper character. Kaufman is his name.
I'll blow you out of your fucking castle.
Yeah. Now you'll see here. They call them what do you call them? Flowers, the fireworks.
Yeah, the sky flowers.
Sky flowers. That's used to distract the zombies, so they can kind of set those off, get the zombies to kind of go in a different direction, so they can move back into the main portion of the city and move into the stores and kind of raid the stores and get supplies. That's important to remember for later on.
Yep. And Charlie here, like I recently found this out, is actually one of the cannibals in the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Yes, you know what? I didn't hear about. I didn't remember that. Know that until years later when I was kind of going through his Wikipedia and everything. He was. Was he the one that was in the wheelchair?
No, I think he was the lizard, the equivalent of Mars.
Yeah.
Like I always want to call him Mars, but it's like no, they don't have the planet names in the freaking remake.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things I just can't unsee now.
Yeah.
Like every time I watch this, it's like, oh god, you ripped that poor birdie's head off and drank its blood. You sick fuck.
He's now this main guy, Simon Baker. He's done a lot of TV. He's done a decent amount of films, but he was in the Mentalist, one of the main stars of that.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it, but
yeah, very very popular show. So that's kind of his deal.
He looks like an actor who I've seen before, and I feel like I've seen him outside of here, but it might just be that I've watched this movie so many times that I feel like I know him from somewhere else, when really it's just from here. Also worth noting that the butcher zombie here was one of the protagonist characters in the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Oh, okay.
Little Tucker, I think his name was. Kind of looked like Dale from King of the Hill.
I like this girl zombie too. She's kind of in it multiple times. I don't know if she's the softball player, the girl softball player.
Yeah.
We will see. Keep an eye out for it later on. A Tom Savini cameo.
Yes.
Where he plays Blade, his character from Dawn. And people will say, well, they don't actually intertwine, but You just have fun with it. And in one of the commentary tracks, oh, wasn't that a great shot with the head?
Oh yeah.
And how the head still look. In one of the commentary tracks, Tom Savini's asked about that, and he goes, "Yes, we had fun with it, and it's supposed to be me."
Yeah, I always thought that was pretty cool, especially when having gone back and watched the original Dawn and then coming back to watch this, it's like it almost gave me a whole new appreciation for this one.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so it's not just the trilogy, and mind you, I like this one anyway.
Yeah.
But it just added that extra something to it that was like, I love you, Land of the Dead. Don't ever let me go. Real quick, Miss Carter says Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is on Tubi. Thinking of watching it. Seen enough clips to know it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's one of those. I'm trying to think of the best way to say whether or not somebody would like Texas Chainsaw 2. It's a wild
Here's
departure.
The thing about Texas Chainsaw 2, don't go into part 2 thinking you're getting an extension of the original. It's a completely different thing. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Where the original Texas Chainsaw is gritty, it's dirty, it's serious, it's scary, it's uncomfortable. Part 2 is silly and funny and goofy and get a little grossed out with some of the gore. Now, I have fun with 2 for what it is, but I prefer the franchise to be more serious, which is why I'm a big fan of 3. If you're more of a fan of the serious side of Texas Chainsaw, watch 3 because that'll give you more of that than 2 will. So yeah.
That sounds like the perfectly rounded way to say that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Here in the film, they're in Dead Reckoning right now. Dead Reckoning is it's like a pimped out military RV. Like, it's super.
Oh
And
yeah.
it is specifically designed to take out hordes of zombies. There's literally slits in the side where they can put their machine guns through or put their knives through or whatever, which is really cool.
Absolutely amazing. Hey, Big Daddy J, how you doing, boss? It's good to see you here, man. Wow, Cholo's whole band of... Do they call them the band of assholes in this?
I can't remember.
So I was about to call them that. I'm like, wait, I think they say that in here. You gotta love his little crew and just the way they go about looting everything. Gotta pay their dues to the man upstairs.
That's right. We all do. See, but the thing is too, like, if this was real life, like, this would be something that happens. Like, people would be doing this shit.
Oh yeah.
That was a good jump scare. See, jump scares, people always talk about that. A lot of, like, newer horror films have jump scares. Like, that's a jump scare that leads to something. You know, it's a zombie attack. He gets close. You see that he's, trying to assert the fact that he can handle himself. Not just a jump scare for the sake of, getting the audience to kind of jump. Oh, well, it's been 10 minutes. We need another.
Right. Yeah, that was one that I always thought was pretty effective too, and I just really started thinking about how long was that zombie stuck in that freezer?
Yeah, right?
It's like dude just killed over one day, stocking the booze, drops dead. Next thing he knows, he's a zombie and just waiting for one person to just open that freezer for him. Ooh, here we go. Believe it or not, I love Diary of the Dead more than Land of the Dead, but Land has really good action. Yeah, I personally still need to check out Diary, but
Diary's cool. It's a found footage movie, but it's done in a way where it's not like a traditional found footage. She even tells you in the beginning, she's like, what you're about to see is like pieced together footage of how we survived. I added sound effects and music to help you deal with it easier. So, you know, I've heard people say, well, that's so corny. How did they throw that in there? That's just an excuse so that, you know, they can make it more like a movie. Okay, who cares? It works.
it's like, wouldn't you have appreciated it if there was music?
That's all
Like
you need.
those naysayers probably would be saying that same thing.
And some people are always just looking for something to bitch about, man. There's always people looking to complain. A lot of people, it's weird. Like, this is what I've noticed too. And this goes for like any fandom. Like my biggest fandoms are horror movies and like pro wrestling. And it's very similar where there are people who will like it's almost like they want to hate certain stuff. And
Right.
they'll go into a movie and you already know, like you see it, I'm sure you do. You know, just by you'll remember certain people's screen names and accounts and just the comments they'll make on certain trailers. And it's like, you know that motherfucker is going to shit on this movie whenever they watch it, if they watch it, or they'll lie and say they watched it and just dog on it because they don't want it to be good. Like, there are
Right.
people who, it's almost because, say Halloween, like the Halloween stuff, it's almost become so popular now since that new movie came out. And since as the last couple of years, social media is really booming, it's almost become popular to shit on the Halloween franchise now. It's like the cool, edgy thing to do. Oh, I'm not going to go with the mainstream. Oh, I hate Halloween now because all of a sudden people are liking it. Yeah, whatever. Like, you know, but it's true.
Right.
So there are people that I know that going into this new Halloween sequel, there's no way they're going to be happy with it if they even
Right.
watch it, and they'll just shit on it because they hate it. Like, for me, I like so many different subgenres within horror. Obviously, I have like hundreds and like 1,000 horror movies, literally.
Right.
But that's just not one or two subgenres. Yeah. Like, that's a shit ton. That if I like a movie, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Great. But there are certain people out there, man. They like what they like, and they won't give anything else a shot, and they just shit on it.
Exactly.
I don't know why. But misery loves company, I guess.
Oh yeah. Like, I honestly used to be of that mind where I would just blindly shit on things, but I eventually turned 15. So now if I haven't seen anything, I'm not going to shit on it. I'm just going to say whether or not I haven't expressed interest or not, whether I just haven't had a chance to get around to seeing it, or whatever the reason may be.
Yeah.
But like, I'm generally not going to shit on most things until I try it. I mean, of course, there's a couple things that come out where it's like just kind of rubbed the wrong way by it,
Yeah.
like just the way the trailer's presented or the subject matter. Like, because some films, the subject matter is enough for somebody to say, no, this is not for me.
Oh,
And
yes. Yes.
then you get some crazy people who go out there and say, oh, fucking boycott this movie. Just don't watch it.
I can't stand you know, we deal with a lot of that in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a lot of this censoring going on television, big time. The wrestling really got hit hard with it. And it really got bad like post 9/11, because that's when everybody was really on edge, and it's been kind of like snowballing since then. And I really, when it comes to things like that, especially with movies, entertainment, I try my best to be fair, to be as balanced as I can, and I try to see where both sides are coming on an issue before I let my emotions take over.
Right.
So I don't post too much about they're canceling Pepe Le Pew, or they're canceling Aunt Jemima and Dr. Seuss. I try not to comment, but sometimes it's hard.
Right.
Now he back with the movie. You see, I really love uh, the character of Riley with Charlie. It's almost like he's like the big brother and the little brother dynamic. They
Oh
really
yeah.
play off each other well. And I'll tell you that comment that guy made on your page is really sticking with me here because it's just so inaccurate.
Yeah, it's really
Because
making.
this guy here, Cholo, how could the rich ever control the lower class people with the gun? And I see this guy, and this is the guy that I'm surrounded by. He's the I don't want to wear a mask guy.
Yeah.
You know, he would have been storming the Capitol. You know?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, that's the type. So
Oh, hold on, Robbie, your audio went out, boss.
you good?
Yep. Yeah, the sound just got a little bad there for a second.
Did we good?
Yep, sounds good now.
Yeah, no. So, man, Romero was so ahead of his time. I think that's another reason why he wasn't as successful in the mainstream and in Hollywood. Most of his movies were done outside of Hollywood, and even the bigger budget movies were done on lower budgets. I mean, this movie here, I'm looking, the budget was under 20 million. It's like 15 to 19 million. 2005, it's nothing.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
It made about 50. You know, if you make more than double, if you make like double your budget, it's considered kind of breaking even. So
Right.
it was profitable, made a little, and then obviously with DVD sales and blah blah blah. Oh boy, is that a preacher that got on that line? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Yep, that is a man of the cloth.
Romero never shied away about touching the religious stuff. He was not. He grew up in a Catholic family, but he was not religious. It was funny because in Martin, he plays a priest who's like incredibly liberal, who gets brought to the house to kind of and told about, oh, Martin might be a vampire, and he's kind of like, none of that stuff is true. Like, there's no demons.
Right.
So we kind of been poking fun at a lot of that stuff. Remember the Harry Krishna zombie, the nun zombie in Dawn?
Yep. Yeah, those two were. Yeah, I remember just noticing that heavy moment with that nun zombie. It's like her and Fran had that moment. It was like, whoa, some heavy shit there.
Yep.
Let's see.
But yeah.
Romero always knew how to make great, strong characters. That's one of the reasons why he's my favorite filmmaker. That is well stated, Alva.
My favorite filmmaker too. You have good taste.
I can't speak too well. That is a very good point, Aiden. Combine the first and last name there.
Now it's interesting here. Just to kind of give you an idea of where this movie stands with critics and fans, 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is on the critic side. Only 51% on the audience side.
Oh, wow.
Very hit or miss. That's low. That is very, very low. I really think a lot of that is because of Dawn, the remake of Dawn. The remake of Dawn has a 75% critic rating, so basically the same.
Right.
But a 77% audience score. A lot of that is people got into the fast zombie stuff. They wanted fast zombies. They didn't want to have the commentary, the political commentary. They wanted action. It was, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And if this came out a few years prior, I think it would have done a lot better.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean,
Look at this. The guy kills himself, suicide, and he's still alive. Isn't that a great shot?
oh yeah. That whole scene was. I remember being pretty disturbed by that one back in the day. Like, holy shit! Like, I couldn't imagine trying to fucking being in that son situation. Like, oh fuck, gotta get my dad down, and then dad turns and fucking bites you right in the neck.
Yeah.
Like, as a 10-year-old, there was something about that just hit me, and
Agree.
a lot, and in ways that a lot of films didn't at that time.
Yeah. It's also shot really well.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
well shot. I like the set design. It really does a good job of separating the inside of Fiddler's Green to be very kind of relaxed and almost isolated from all the problems. And then outside, it's dirty, man. It really is just filthy.
yeah, it's a great juxtaposition there.
As far as how this was, we talked about how it was received. It finished with 47 million at the box office, and it would, oh, right, real quick, those two zombies right there.
Oh yep,
Those are the two guys from Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of
yeah,
the Romero loved Shaun of the Dead. He thought it was hilarious, and it is. It's kind of that British humor, right?
oh yeah.
I, yeah, but as far as land, it only made about 20 million in the United States, another 26 and change internationally. So it made its money back. It didn't make as much as they wanted, but it wasn't a flop. This is interesting too. Okay, so this is important. This scene. Now we see here that these zombies are almost being treated as props in sport for entertainment, right?
Yep.
They're kind of just that's really what they're used for. Before Romero, oh, well, I'm gonna get into this. Do you know who that is?
Young lady here.
Yes, you know who that is.
That is Dario Argento's daughter.
Yes, it is Asia.
That's
Asia
it.
Argento. Any of the Dario Argento fans, she was, of course, in a lot of Dario's films, The Stendhal Syndrome and Mother of Tears, and a few others. She got herself involved in some controversy in recent years, but she's a mainstay, and she's badass, man. It's like one of the, when you think of, like, some women come out and they're just a badass bitch. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, they just got that attitude of, when I mean attitude in a positive way, of, I'm not taking that shit. I'm just a tough motherfucker. If you don't like me the way I am, then go fuck yourself. That's
Right.
a lot of that is, a rough upbringing, gone through a lot of tough shit, and so be it. But back to what I was saying, this kind of scene here, before Romero died, he wrote a script, and it was called, I'm trying to remember the name of it now. Man, I'm totally drawing a blank. I'm gonna Google here and see,
All right.
because I'm really blanking here.
You and Aiden got a pretty good amount in common here.
All right, buddy.
Obviously, both great Romero fans, and Aiden has Dario Argento at number 2 for filmmakers.
He's in my top 5, man.
I like what I've seen by him, but I haven't quite seen enough of Argento to put him in that high of a placement at the moment.
That's fair. I filled in all my gaps during the whole quarantine last year. And I just got everything that I need that had missed, and went a little
Right.
crazy. I went a little crazy and literally bought everything that I didn't have. So now I physical media of everything he's ever done. So
Hell yeah, man. It's like with John Carpenter, I haven't seen everything that he's done, but I've seen
yeah.
pretty much
There's
the
a
bulk
few.
of it.
There's a few that I haven't. I think I'm probably 90-something% I've watched, but there are a few I haven't. It's
It's
hard,
like,
man. It's hard, watching everything.
oh yeah. Yeah, especially when it's such a great filmmaker, and they got maybe that one or two films that flopped, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Like you just come across one that's really bad, and you're only watching it for completionist's sake.
Hey,
I,
listen, a lot of people have duds, man. Most. Oh, here it is. I found. Okay, it's called Road of the Dead. It's a movie. It's a script that
ooh,
Romero filmed, and it was supposed to take place even further in the future. He was going to be a producer, and the the director was the man who was like the assistant director, the AD on Diary and Survival.
okay.
And what it was, I'll read you the like kind of synopsis. Road of the Dead takes place 6 years after Land of the Dead, set on an island where zombie prisoners race cars in modern day Coliseum for entertainment of wealthy humans.
Huh.
So it's taking what we saw here in Land to just another level of you. It's almost like the human species have just found a way to almost domesticate zombies. I guess is maybe the right word.
Right. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah. But I think that's actually getting turned into a comic now.
I could see that.
Yeah, man, that would have been fun, right?
Oh yeah.
I
It's
mean, it
like
sounds. You know what? Because it's on the surface. If I didn't hear George Romero's name and I just heard that concept, I would say that is really stupid.
yeah,
But I feel like he'd find a way to make it work.
yeah, it's one of those things too, uh, it's there's a perspective or perception there. It's like had anybody else been doing this, like you said,
Yeah.
probably would have been stupid. But there's the George Romero's name on there, and it changes everything. Like there
Yeah.
was one of the Call of Duty games had like a lot of the Call of Duty games have this zombie thing that you can do in there.
Isn't he one of the zombies in one of them?
Yep. And I always thought that it was stupid. Like so you have this war game and you have a zombie mode. And I was always saying that's kind of stupid for this kind of game. But then they had the George Romero part of the game and I'm like, okay, I'm changing my mind. This is actually pretty cool. I
Yeah.
I don't know, just something about it. Again, you change one little element, throw somebody's name into it,
You're
and
right.
it just changes the whole game.
I love how they follow Big Daddy. Like he really in this is the only movie where it's really clear that one zombie has an influence. And it's very interesting. It's almost like the evolution of the zombies, just like with people. Even in ancient civilization, there's always going to be like your tribes of people, right? In the
Right.
world. And there's always going to be the alpha, who's the lead dog. And then you got the people underneath. That's just how every society is structured. It's human nature, it's innate. And Romero always talked about a lot of the way that these zombies react is because they have memories of inside and what they remember from their past life.
Yep.
And following, one alpha in a pack is just human nature. And even though these zombies are zombies, they're humans before that.
Oh yeah.
What's happening here, I think, is very smart, and just the next evolutionary step.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense when you think about it, and I still don't get how people can naysay this film so hard.
Yeah.
It's like I think conceptually this one might be the probably the most interesting of the first four.
Mm. There's a
Like
lot going on. There's a lot to pick apart and kind of talk about here.
it's almost like the delay time too, because didn't he want to do this one in the 90s?
Yeah, it had been talked
Like,
about for a while. But 90s horror, it just wasn't hot. You had some good horror flicks, and the slasher subgenre was hot because of Scream.
right.
But after that, it was more sophisticated horror films that got a little bit mentioned. Silence of the Lambs,
Right.
Seven, right?
Yep.
A lot of these genre films, a lot subgenre within the genre, were kind of just left behind. I mean, George Romero made The Dark Half, which is a Stephen King novel, which is a good flick, but that was pretty much forgotten. Did a few other films here. You know, he did an anthology movie with Dario Argento in the I think it was in the early '90s, called Two Evil Eyes.
Yeah, I think I can't remember. You might have actually brought that one up one of these last few watch parties we've done, but
after that, he wasn't really he was a producer on a TV show, but he really didn't do much as far as directing wise in the '90s. It's all about the money, man.
I love this. Aiden says, I know this may be a cheat, but there was a Romero zombie film in the 90s with the remake of Night. I think it's safe to allow it.
Yep, he wrote the script. He wrote the script, and that had Savini direct it. It's only in recent years Savini has fond things to say about that. He was not happy. A lot of what he wanted to do got cut by the MPAA. That's, once again, we've talked about it. Late 80s into the 90s, they did a lot of that. And he was also going through a really bad divorce at the time. Right. So he was kind of,
It's just a really bad funk for anyone there.
Yeah. But you remember, you know what? I mean, he had written the script in the 90s, and then he was attached to do the first Resident Evil movie.
I think I remember hearing something about that.
And that was going to be something completely different than what happened. It was supposed to be a lot closer to the actual game and be like a more serious horror movie.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I actually remember hearing about it now that you mention it, and I remember feeling so damn cheated by that. It's like, because I mean, I kind of enjoyed the first Resident Evil film. I kind of gave up by the second one. Yeah. Didn't really bother with them after that. Aside from what you could catch on the Sci-Fi Channel or whatever.
It wasn't for me. The first one was cool. There was that one scene where all those
the lasers
come and cut him to a million pieces.
Yeah, that's the one that definitely sticks out for me too. It was absolutely badass, but I mean, learning though that Romero's name was attached to that at one point, it makes you feel like one of the greatest things in life was just taken from us without ever truly being here.
One day I gotta find the script of that and just read it.
Oh, that would be badass, man. Just
I think he did direct like a Resident Evil commercial or something though. And here's shit's hitting the fan here a little bit. Well, see, this movie is not slow though. This is very fast paced. The
It's
zombies
like,
look slow, but I mean that. I think all the zombies look good. The makeup looks good, right?
oh yeah, and I don't get how people, just like you're saying, I don't see how people can say this one's slow. This one is, out of the first four, this one has the breakneck pacing.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's a little slow in the first 10 minutes, but it's only to set up the world that we're now in. And oh, this part here, fucking Big Daddy is learning.
Yeah, it's
Oh
once again, it's
man.
going back to that innate. Ooh, the figure. Ooh, ooh,
Yeah, this is some good stuff
ooh.
right here.
That's a. Ooh. Oh, I love the fact that guy guy's actually a butcher, and he's walking around with the cleaver.
Yeah.
I just noticed that, and I never noticed that.
Uh, I, I really like that though. Like when you see the zombies in their own little neck of the woods,
Yeah,
they're kind of going about doing their occupations. They're trying to reassimilate themselves with their past lives. They're like their old human forms. Like see
yes.
Big Daddy's playing hanging around the gas station. Here's the bell goes off and he grabs for that pump. The gazebo band, they're trying to stay in tune with each other. Butcher's not dropped that cleaver once.
Dennis Hopper is so good in this.
It's
Clearly the biggest name ever in any of Romero's films.
yeah, without a doubt.
He's good in it though, man. He's such a dick. I think the Cholo, John Leguizamo, I think he's probably the character that is the most memorable to me. I think has the most going on.
Yeah,
There's a few though.
pretty complex. I do like the soldiers that Charlie and Riley wind up working with. They got the big
Big
Samoan
Samoan.
guy there.
Yeah.
Like I'd say he's like the second or third most memorable character of this one.
There's a lot of good characters in this, right?
Oh yeah.
Just just thinking about it now and like actually talking about it while watching it. This movie does not get enough credit.
Yeah, not at all, man. It is nice to see that again. People are coming around to it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Very long overdue. Here we kind of get an idea why. Well, just passed, but we get that idea why Charlie and Riley are so close,
Yeah.
and that I think is a nice little character bit there for them. It's like why are you guys so why are you so good to him? Well, he pulled me out of the fire. It's
Yeah.
like he feels that he owes Riley his life.
And it's understandable.
It's one of those nice little things too to just sprinkle right onto the characters.
Yeah.
This whole office set design is just freaking amazing.
That's what I was just thinking about. Really good set design in here. And it's such a great contrast to what we see outside.
Oh yeah, just the squalor on the streets, uh, the marble and fine woods inside. Almost makes you sick in your stomach in a way.
Yeah.
I just noticed too that his guard back here has a rather Gestapo-looking uniform there
Hmm.
for Kaufman's guards.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Never really picked up on that.
You know what? Like watching and like all of these movies, watching all the behind the scenes, listening to the commentaries, the whole thing, and then hearing independent interviews. I have never heard one person who's ever worked with George Romero say a bad thing about him. Have you ever heard anything?
I can't say that I have.
That's amazing when you think about it, especially nowadays where you hear so much shit, even about people who are dead, and how crappy and how terrible the work environment is with some of these directors, especially the older directors, where things were a lot more hard nosed. I've never heard one negative thing. And this is not a guy who made 2 or 3 movies and left. And this is not, it's a small sample size.
Right.
A guy who's got a pretty decent filmography.
Oh yeah.
That spanned, 40 years or whatever.
Real quick, got a question from crew member. Real quick.
Sure.
Your thoughts on Carpenter's Vampires?
I had watched that once years ago, and then I bought it again a couple years back, and I had fun with it. I thought it was fun. I don't have it in my upper echelon of Carpenter films, but I think it's a solid flick. And if you're into vampire movies, which some people are, some people are not, it's a good pickup. It's with James Woods.
That sounds correct.
And we got to see Ozzy here in a bra, so that's nice.
Yes.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, I was kind of distracted by that there for a second. I'm like,
but I think they should have gone further. Free the nipple, man. I think, I'm all for equality and all
absolutely.
that. I think they should get fully nude. Like, not because I want to see it, just because I want the expression. I'm a supporter of the expression.
Damn right.
That's it.
Like, the support of the expression, and I will go a step further and say also because I would like to see it.
That's it.
It's like, I believe in the freedom, but also I want to see it, damn it.
She might be in her prime at this point in Land of the Dead. She's looking mighty fine, bro. I think she's in a good spot, yeah. Now, I've seen this movie over a dozen times. What is the significance of the number 23 tattooed on the back of her head? Is that one of her tattoos? I don't know. She has a number 23 on the back of her head. I don't know if they ever mentioned that. That's a big man, by the way.
I'm about to check that out, but real quick, did you by chance see Land of the Dead in theaters?
Yes, opening weekend.
I was not so lucky.
It was unfortunately the first and only Romero film that I got to see in the movie theater when it came out. I really, really want to see Dawn in the theater. Like a packed theater.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome,
because,
dude.
Die-hard Dawn fans, like, they would make that experience, like, I don't want to put it exactly the same, but like that would be like a Rocky Horror level theater going experience where like they would know all the lines, they would know everything, so that would be fun. But yeah, this was from what I remember, pretty packed theater. Went on opening weekend. There was no way I was missing it. I was maybe probably, depending on when this came out, this was June of 2005, so it was like right before my 21st birthday. So yeah, that was when I was, I was getting around at that point, man. We were going to any movie I could.
I was back in the good old day when theaters were a thing.
That's it, man. I know some people go to the theater. I've gone to a couple of movies since, but very small, hardly anybody there. And I don't know, like, they're talking about a lot of movies that they're releasing streaming like the same day they go to the theater.
Right.
Now, I love the theater experience, but I think what makes the theater experience is being in a packed theater, like opening weekend or whatever, and you experience the movie with a lot of other people. I don't feel like it would be the same if you go to, you're going to see the new Halloween opening weekend and there's 3 people that you don't know scattered around this big theater. It's not the same.
Right.
I think at that point I'll just stay home.
Just have a private video conference with friends who are also going to be streaming it. Like, oh my god, you guys fucking see that? Blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just Googled it real quick. But there was this website that explains a lot of her tattoos, and the 23 tattoo is the only one that has no explanation for it. It just says she has the number 23 tattooed on the back of her neck, so it's probably a super,
maybe she's a
super
Michael Jordan
private meaning. That could be. That very well could be.
I wouldn't put money on it.
Oh, I don't put money on anything unless I am damn certain. Crew member has a valid point here. It's unfortunate that this happens when someone passes away. Then they get the recognition that they get more recognition for the work they did when they were alive. So posthumous recognition as opposed to recognition when.
I think part of that's valid. I think in horror circles, Romero was always respected, but I think there's a lot of people that were like, "Oh yeah, I respect him, but I really don't watch his movies." Or I saw Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead, but that's like literally it. Like, and he's got a lot more to offer. Ooh, good headshot.
Yeah, but this scene was freaking insane too, man.
See, this is a good like less is more thing, where you don't need the lights completely on to see everything. Just a little bit with the flashlight. That's all you need.
I think that's
look at that. That is a see right there. That's a throwback to today, right? This reminds me of some of the stuff we saw in Day. Oh, with ripping out through his mouth and his from his stomach there. Ooh.
Yeah, that I think is probably one of the sickest shots in this whole film.
Yeah.
And fuck, I know one thing somebody brought up too in that when I posted that we were doing this was somebody mentioned the CGI bogs it down. Like, it doesn't bog it down too bad.
No, there's some stuff that you need the CGI for.
Like if you look really hard, you can see it, but if you're just looking at the film, a lot of the CGI really will just kind of fly by.
Yeah.
Like you won't. A lot of it, I find you actually won't spot unless you're really, really looking for it.
Yes, I agree with that.
Better than a lot of it can be.
This is a great shot. Oh, see what? Oh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that great? Through the heart, through the head. In the commentary track for this, Romero addresses the CGI use. He said, in a shot like that, you can't do that practical.
Oh, not at all.
So what do people want? Just take that shot out because you don't like some CGI? No, that was well done. And, you notice how a lot of that was quick cuts because Romero doesn't want to linger on a CGI shot for too long because if you do that, it becomes too noticeable.
Yeah, and that, like, as much as I do admire that shot, I do have to say that probably is the most noticeable as far as the CG.
Yeah.
Like, and it's simply because of the size of the effect. But I still enjoy that effect because that was probably
one of the shots.
Oh yeah, and probably one of the coolest freaking zombies too.
Yeah, and like, that was a pre-zombie. I don't know if the other one was. That definitely was.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely double check on that and I feel like they were both priests, and I just noticed the spikes on the Samoan dude's elbow pads there. It's like you don't want to be hit by him anyway, but you definitely don't want him throwing elbows. Romero did a great job with this $20 million budget. It seems like a more expensive film than that. Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem to be that cheaply made at
Yeah,
all.
this is the guy who at this point had been doing things for 30 years. So he knew, on all low budgets. So he knew how to maximize his minimal financial.
All right. I don't know if having Dennis Hopper involved helped out with any of the finances and maybe getting stuff at a lower, like
Yeah,
getting this film done at a lower cost.
I don't think he was demanding that high of a paycheck for this at this point.
I always think of Dennis Hopper as having been a pretty humble, modest type guy. I mean,
Oh, he
sure he
was.
was.
You know what? For me, when I think of him, I think of Speed.
Yeah.
With Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, who was amazing in that movie.
10 out
of 10 for sure.
Yeah, that one I still need to see. I have it, but I haven't watched it yet. I've got a lot of things I still need to see that I own.
Yeah.
But as of now, like Easy Rider and Texas Chainsaw 2 are like the first things that I think of for Hopper.
So you haven't seen Speed?
Not yet, no.
Dude, you'll love that shit. Really good.
Like I know about it.
I love. Okay, here. This is a cool shot.
Oh yeah.
With a camera outside and some boom.
Yep.
That's a great use of that.
Yeah, I heard something about like when I can't remember where the hell it was, but somebody was saying something about how it's always cool to see on screen, like on screen within the film, something that's happening elsewhere as it's happening, like just something about CCTV being used within the context of a motion picture is just always outstanding. And for the most part, I agree. It's always pretty cool, especially when the action we're seeing is in relative proximity to the consequential on-screen energy or action within the film. That was a mindfuck of a statement, but I feel like I know what I was getting at there, and I hope to gosh everybody else knows too.
I hear you.
Hey, well, you're here now, man. It's good to see you, Trashy. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Yeah, you gotta hit that little bell button, man. But yeah, YouTube's freaking weird sometimes, man. Like you hit that snazzy little bell down there, and I think that'll solve the problem. That's what I'm told, anyway.
That's another nice shot there through the woods.
Through the trees. Very, very atmospheric there.
Yeah. Romero has that vision, man. He knows exactly what he wants and how to get it on camera. And I think he forms a trust with his actors where they can kind of get on that same page. So that would not be. I don't know why he's wearing headphones, but oh, there you
go. They thought he was too cool for school.
Yeah, this is not gonna work out for him right here. Bad move. Oh, what a cool clown, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice practical there. That's some good practical.
Yeah, I think these are probably
clearly practical there. That is all Day of the Dead, right?
Oh yeah.
This was this had to been K&B effects for Greg Nicotero and them.
Yep. I'm about to double check that now.
Three out of 4 stars from Roger Ebert.
That is mighty generous of him.
Yeah, he was a fan of Romero. He really liked the commentary in the films.
Yeah, but I feel like in a way, Big Daddy as a zombie is almost like Romero was as a filmmaker. Like he's so ahead of the curve, man.
Yep, always a few. That's why once again, he was just ahead of his time. People weren't ready for his shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to read a whole interview there, but I think that Nicotero and the other guys at K&B were involved on this one.
Yeah. They were, you said?
I think so, yeah. Sometimes don't know how to navigate through some of these damn links, but saw it popped up the Land of the Dead, IMDb, and K&B was one of the key search words that was highlighted. So
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, it says here. Yeah. Yeah, K&B performed makeup effects for Land of the Dead. Yep, they were. That's why they're well done. I love this shot coming out of the water, man. What a cool fucking shot. What a cool idea. What a great visual. And it really is just, oh. Now this is use of good CGI. You have all the people here in your foreground, but like behind it, where are you going to get hundreds of people where you're going to do a shot like that? So that's well done. And it makes sense, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And we can see our, softball playing girl zombie is definitely what would be considered a feature zombie.
Yeah, I'd definitely call her. If Big Daddy's the captain, she is definitely his first lieutenant.
Yeah,
for damn sure. Butcher is the third in command, I think. But yeah, that shot of them coming out of the water, though, that was inspired by Carnival of Souls from 1962.
Carnival of Souls is a fantastic film.
Dude, it is one of my favorites.
I watched it for the first time, once again, during the pandemic, and then I dropped $30 to get the Criterion Collection Blu-ray.
Yeah, I heard they cleaned up the sound really good on that one.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's got a lot of nice special features and stuff. I'm close to ordering a autographed picture from the actress in that movie. She has it on her website. She's like 80-something years old, and she'll sign the pictures.
Oh,
yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've just got that on basic DVD, and man, that opening scene where they're doing the drag race, if that's what you want to call that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty the audio is so muted in there when the guys are challenging the girls to the race. Like you can't hardly hear the dialogue there.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, it starts off boom right away. That movie, right at the drag race. There's no build.
I kind of appreciate that, but at the same time, I remember being very taken aback by that. Like, okay, thank you, movie, for not even introducing yourself. You're just
Yeah,
jumping
I
right
thought,
in.
I remember when I first saw it, I went to a different link because it's free on YouTube. It's public domain. I thought that there was like the beginning was cut off.
I thought that too when I bought it on one of those 5 packs of like the public domain horror films. Like,
Yeah, they always throw like a bunch of shitty ones on there, and then it's like Carnival of Souls, Night of the Living Dead, House on Haunted Hill. Those are the ones they highlight because those are the ones that people know.
oh yeah, it's like I probably own at least 3 copies of each because of little packs like that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh damn. I would imagine you probably knew this one, Robbie.
What's that?
Originally, they were intending to show the zombies walking under the water, but they wound up doing that in Pirates of the Caribbean, and they wound up dropping that from this one.
Oh, that's a bummer. I think it works this way anyway. Sometimes less is more. Right?
Oh yeah, it's still one of those things though. It's like it's one of those things. Once you hear about it, it almost bugs you that it didn't happen simply because it didn't. But
Yeah.
but then again, if it did happen, we probably would be here complaining about it. Like, as great as this movie is, why the hell?
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like the same logic why in Jason Takes Manhattan, he's on last thing you see, he's on the Lazarus, and then he's coming up at the dock. We don't want to see Jason trying to swim from the boat
Exactly.
to Manhattan.
Yeah.
That movie's a whole conversation in itself too. Oh man.
And look at this scene. She goes to hit him with a bat, and she gives him the gun instead.
I don't even know that the zombies
Nice
would have.
explosion.
I don't think the zombies would have gotten to this level had it not been for the Bub Zombie and Day of the Dead.
Yep,
Like
it's the natural progression, the natural
like,
evolution.
like had Romero not done that, I don't think he would have even thought to advance it to this point. And I'm glad that was one of those things that just came to him. Just freaking amazing.
He's starting to get pissed. He's starting to really kind of realize Cholo John Luis Leguizamo. Say what you want about him. His character. He's got pride.
Oh yeah.
And even though he realizes that he's been kind of played a fool by Hopper and Dennis Hopper or Kaufman, and that's why he is so aggressive in his retaliation to him.
It's like you don't do this to me. He'd rather trying to think what's the analogy there. He'd rather be a like some kind of bitter winner as opposed to just a loser in general.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, that was oof.
Oh, great work on that. Oh, well, you know what? At that point, if you're her, shoot me in the head anyway.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
I don't want to have to suffer that pain in my face getting ripped off.
That was just freaking brutal, man. Every time too. All right, you're okay, Cholo. You're okay. That's just a dick move right here. Yeah, do you think he's gonna let any of his devoted subjects in Fiddler's Green know that he's about to go down because he knows shit's about to get rough?
No, he's going
Really
to do
rough?
what any cowardly leader who has a blind following, who thinks, there are people like this. Some of them have been world leaders who make people believe that that they actually like and care for them, but they're just using them. They are BSing them, and they're suckers. And when shit hits the fan, they'll tuck their tail between their legs and run away. And this is a uh, a visual way of putting that on screen.
Oh yeah, feels pretty. Definitely is very very forward thinking.
Yes,
Looking at it in hindsight, it's like I don't know. It feels like this one is almost more relevant now than it had been when it came out.
hugely relevant right now.
It's like,
Probably more relevant now than, like you said, than when it came out.
oh yeah,
This was like, written right around 9/11 time when he was kind of fixing up the script. Came out only four. This was in the heart of the Iraqi war. 2 years in, distrust of government. Listen, just say what it is. George Romero was incredibly liberal, a super lefty, was against the war, hated George Bush, hated Dick Cheney, hated everything that the neo-conservative movement stood for, had no
right,
trust in leaders like that, and this is how he was working it out. And he's gone on record to say that. So this is not just me kind of fumbling
right.
through and trying to put pieces together. He's come out and he's very open about that.
Oh yeah,
He wouldn't be one to preach, but when people ask questions, he would answer. If he didn't like the answer, tough shit. Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, this is something I totally agree with that Aiden saying. The Dennis Hopper shooting that guy was absolutely hilarious, and I think it's even more funny that he didn't have to shoot that guy
Yeah.
in the hallway. He's like, "Where are you going, Mister Kaufman?"
It's just
Oh,
he's panicking.
it's like, "Oh, look, get down, look over there." Totally executes the fucking guy. Uh, Trashy really likes the tambourine zombie. Yeah, the tambourine zombie is pretty.
Pretty cool.
Tambourine zombie is pretty great. Says that he also wishes that they kept the Hopper Bush nose picking scene in here. I think it was only in the trailer. I don't think I ever saw the trailer. That would be a interesting little thing just to kind of humanize Kaufman just a little bit. Just kind of get a shot of him picking at his nose and whatnot. Just digging for
Oh,
gold
that's
there.
it. Cholo.
Or that I like how that zombie almost looks like Eddie from the Iron Maiden album covers. It's like after he's no longer on the Iron Maiden album covers, like it's like Eddie, we're gonna show you the door. Get on out here.
Poor Cholo. He knows. Only a matter of time now.
His fucking philosophy here though, like I kind of want to see what the other side's like,
Yeah.
It's almost like at that moment he's finally deciding to swallow that pride, the last fucking bit of it that was remaining. Not that there was much left after getting kicked off his damn RV.
Ugh. There's some good gore in this. Look at that. There's some good gore in
Oh
it. A lot of
yeah.
people I've seen say, "Oh, there's not enough blood and gore in it." There's enough to get you through the movie, man.
Like shit, there's almost too much blood and gore in this one. True
Yep,
shit right here.
100%. That's where we were kind of getting into that. 100%.
Absolutely. And I hope, yeah, I think it's still coming up here. Man himself.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think Big Daddy is probably one of the scariest zombies of the Romero universe.
Yeah,
Like
because of his the intelligence.
exactly. It's just like because when people think of zombies, they just think brains.
Yeah.
I want to eat brains.
And ironically, everyone knows zombies. They say brains. Romero never had that.
It was
They never went after brains. They went after flesh or anything.
Return of the Living Dead is where that comes from, and
Yep.
that's a great movie too.
We should do one of these for that.
Oh, dude, I'm so down for that.
I watched that movie so much as a kid because my dad would always rent it for me, and we'd watch it together.
Hell yeah.
That's not another one of those movies where I'd see all the blood and guts, but when it was time for the graveyard striptease by Lynette Quigley, I would see this.
Oh man.
Like, quick, look at the guts, the blood and guts.
Oh yeah, I saw that for the first time last year, and
really,
dude, I'm so freaking mad because I waited so long with it.
Oh, it's great.
Like I had such a blast, and like my review for that too was like literally a whole day late from hitting the 35th anniversary mark.
Oh wow.
I didn't realize until I dropped it that it was the day after. Like, well, son of a gun.
That's awesome. That's a great one. Part 2 was fun, but it's really it's the same type of thing.
Right.
It even has the two main characters back.
Yeah, I heard that. Like, I kind of read up a little bit about the second one. And
yeah, so it's almost like a carbon copy. The third one is something completely different, but it's good too. And then they did a few other like made for TV sci-fi sequels that were horrendous.
Yeah, I heard I did hear that 3 is pretty interesting. It kind of stands on its own from the first two.
I mean, you don't really need to watch the other ones. There's one or two little like callbacks, but it's not necessary.
3, I think, looks interesting though, because that freaking poster art, man.
Yeah.
Got the girl with the claws and shit.
Here they come.
It's almost as if they're trying to say, money's not going to save you at the end of the day.
Yep. At the end of the day, who cares about this stuff? Very much, that's a message that kind of carries over from Dawn.
Oh, yeah. In a lot of ways, too, this one kind of does echo a lot of the different points of the first 3. And
yeah,
that's a nice blood
It's almost like the message of the first 3 are rolled into one.
It's like, it kind of does its own thing, but again, definitely picks up on the first 3, almost as if it's like, here's the last bit of the presentation, and here's also the sum of everything that you've been taught so far.
Yes.
If it was like a master class, which it really is.
Yes.
It's a masterful exercise. Huh. Are you guys watching the extended cut with Cholo killing Kaufman's neighbor? Yeah, that part happened in here. I guess I've only been watching the extended cut. And we get extra bits that cut to of Ozzy's side boob. Well, damn it. Yes, that definitely was brutal, Aiden. That was
the belly button ring.
Yeah, just seeing how the fucking that belly skin just kind of stretches and.
Yep.
It's like that's a non-fatal injury, and that looks like it hurts more than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, and you get these rich pricks trying to get out, and they realize that the damn walls that were meant to protect them are ironically their downfall. Quite possibly their death. Damn, that's bitter irony right there.
Yeah. Love the use of those cameras, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing how they use Dead Reckoning in this too. I can almost see why people who were really big on Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead weren't too big on this, because maybe they felt that Dead Reckoning was stealing the idea of turning the buses into armored trucks.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember too, like Romero wrote this years before, like the Dawn remake was even a thought.
I was just when it came to his luck on that, it was really just circumstantially bad timing.
Yes,
Like,
I'll tell you though. I mean, ooh, good. Whoops, see,
that's great.
Yeah.
Like, even the little bit of CGI,
yeah,
it enhanced the effect. Like, that's one part of the CGI argument that you don't really hear people bring up a lot.
Yeah.
Is that when you do a practical effect, it works, but it doesn't work just right. So you throw on that little bit of CGI to kind of help create the vision as it ought to be.
Yes.
This film is a perfect example of that, because there's some things that were just a little too ambitious for practicals by themselves.
100% spot on. Even Romero said that. And Savini had said that CGI in this way should be used to, enhance the practical, not replace it. Oh, these are good though, man.
Oh yeah, this is always great too. And I always like it when they get amputees to play zombies.
Oh yeah,
because they have very little to do to really zombify them or create the lost limbs.
They used okay, so you watched Return of the Living Dead. There's a scene where you see like an amputee, almost like a midget zombie. And in that way, it's he's eating one of the ambulance drivers outside in the rain.
Okay, yeah.
And there's a guy. He's an amputee, I believe.
Huh.
Well, I think he's an amputee or might be a midget.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed that, but I know the part of the movie you're talking about.
That's when not Bert,
Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie. Not Ernie.
Fucking shit. Hell yeah, Robbie! You got a Frank? Yeah, you got a sub from Trashy here.
Thanks, man.
You seem like a really cool dude. And
this weekend, we're gonna start. There's gonna be more videos on my channel. Hopefully, almost weekly.
Hell yeah!
My son's gonna be helping out with a bunch of them. I got together with him and we kind of picked a starting point, the data when we're gonna almost kind of like relaunch the channel in a way. So this week is when we're gonna be filming content, and that's when everything's gonna start. So thank you for that. I appreciate it, and get ready for some new stuff coming out.
Hell yeah, man! It feels like it's been forever.
Too long. A lot of the stuff that we do is, these kind of, I'll watch a trailer with him for the first time that he's never seen, and then I'll kind of give a brief, like a kind of facts about the movie and get his thoughts on it and stuff. So it's cool.
Should be used as a crutch, not a leg.
And there it is, and he is starting to move a little quicker too.
In Shaun of the Dead, the zombie groom is an amputee. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in so damn long.
been a long time too. I own it too.
Yeah, I need to. That's one I do need to get my hands on a copy of. I really do enjoy that film.
It's a lot. It's fun.
I think I've only seen it on TV too.
I remember I found the copy somewhere. I don't know if it was a garage sale, and I was so pissed because this was like in 2005 or six, and it was like the European copy. It was like Region B. So for years I had this copy of Shaun of the Dead on my shelf, and I couldn't play.
Oh man, there was a soldier playing cards, and his name was Rickles. It's one of the characters in Day.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that was a good throwback.
Doing anything for April 26th of April for Alien Day? I will honestly have to see what I have going on.
That's it. Okay, so I just found out here. So when Ernie is shooting at the amputee zombie who's eating one of the paramedics, and like it actually says he was an amputee who can run on his stumps and was discovered by one of the film producers living on the streets. He was homeless, living in the streets in LA.
Oh wow.
And they gave him a payday and brought him in.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I remember it. See, I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Even if you don't, it's still there.
That's it.
Yeah, this is fucking great shit by Big Daddy here.
Oh, love it. Love all this.
I love how the guy just leaves him there too. Like, sorry about it, Mr. K. Dips the fuck out. Kaufman, you greedy son of a bitch.
That's it. Love this here. This is great. This is a great reveal.
Huh. There we go. Yeah, this is a scene I freaking forget about this scene sometimes.
The reveal of Cholo.
Oh yeah. It's freaking amazing, man. But wondering if you ever picked up on that. A character named Brubaker in Land nod to the Crazies.
Oh, okay. I didn't even put that together.
We collab with Deacon and having an alien quiz. Prizes hardbacks, aliens graphic novel. Hell yeah, man. Not dealing with that crap at all.
Great ending. Because Cholo was like, fuck it, he don't give a shit anyway.
Right. That's like the mic drop of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a mic drop moment, that is it right there. Just boom. And I want my own Dead Reckoning though. Holy shit. Right?
Man, they should have made that into like an action, like a toy.
Dude, I would have bought like 5 of those.
Like the Dead Reckoning, and then you can get like a Cholo figure and yeah, Kaufman figure, whoever, you know.
Oh yeah. Did you know that fucking thing would have been expensive as hell though? Would have been like $50 for semi-functional fucking one that'll probably break after a month of overuse.
Now, I never played it, but there was a video game, Land of the Dead: Road to Fiddler's Green, that I believe was like a prequel to this game that kind of put you in. I think it was. I'm gonna look at it. I think that was for the Xbox.
Yeah, yeah. It was. That's actually on the previews on this copy that I got. I meant to pay better attention to that, but I was just trying to get everything
Yeah, PC and Xbox. See,
prepped.
I only had a place. Like once I got a PlayStation, that's all I got.
Right.
Um, so yeah.
Oh hell yeah! SOTA Toys released figures that tied in with the film. That's always badass when
Yeah,
they have figures for horror movies.
I got a few around here. Got a Leatherface, Jason, Michael Myers,
Uh,
Pinhead.
that's something I want to start collecting on a little more. Got a nice little Part 4 Jason figure.
Okay, that's cool.
I got a Jason Funko, and that's about it as far as figures go. Like, I wouldn't have even had that Jason Funko Pop if somebody hadn't given it to me. So it's like not
Yeah,
what I want to
I have
collect,
a Jason
but
Funko Pop, and then I have a little tiny Jason Funko Pop. I got as a gift. It was like a Christmas Advent calendar.
oh yeah,
I got that, but it's like the 13 days of Halloween, and each one was a mini Funko inside.
oh hell yeah. How about freaking tragic part, man? Like tragic irony on my part. After getting that Jason one, I think I got Funko fever.
Yeah,
Just a little
I
bit.
hear you. I recently picked up two. They were like $4 each at a thrift store. In the box, Annabelle and Jack Torrance from Shining.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's fucking sick. Was it the one where he's frozen?
No. He's
Okay.
got the hatchet up. Let me go grab it. I'll show you.
Cause I saw I got a few of those.
Not bad for $4.
You said still in the box and everything too, huh?
Yeah, that's the Annabelle one,
Oh, fucking creepy.
and then
There we go. Yeah. Oh, that's sick,
most
man.
of my Funkos are out of the box. But I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna leave these in there.
Jason is kept in his box. It's the safest place for him.
I think my favorite Funko is probably this one, the Linda Blair Exorcist.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pretty sweet. And love this ending. Love this ending with the sky flowers, and they just kind of ride off into the sunset.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
who knows what's next for them?
In
But
some ways, it almost feels like it feels like one of the more optimistic endings out of the bunch. But on the flip side of the same token, it's just as ambiguous as Dawn and Day were,
yeah,
where Night was just a straight up downer ending, like no question
yes,
about it.
yeah. All the other three films are there's darkness in all the endings, but there's also some light. That's a good flick, man. That was good. I'm glad more people are starting to get into it. It's to me, I don't have it on the same level as the first three, but I think it's a great film.
Oh yeah,
To me, the first three I put at 5 out of 5, and that's tough to get. For me, Land, it's a little less, but I still put it in that great category. I go 4 out of 5 for Land.
fair enough. Fair enough. In regards to the game,
Oh, so you work with Kaufman in that?
yeah, it definitely sounds like a prequel idea.
Yeah.
And played it ages ago back on the PC. Wasn't anything special.
Yeah, I heard it was just kind of fine.
It was just kind of there. Love the ending to this film. Big Daddy represents destruction and Riley order. Yeah. See where you're coming from on that.
Maybe next time we do one of these, man, we'll do Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, kind of change up the tone a little bit.
So much fun. That movie is just fun.
Absolutely. And I actually need to buy a copy of that because I think they took it off of Shudder. Don't know if it's still on there. That's where I was reliant on.
You can get a copy of like the regular Blu-ray for pretty inexpensive on like Amazon and eBay. Because ever since Scream Factory released their copy, and that's the one that now everyone wants to try to get, the regular Blu-ray, which is fine, has tons of special features, little documentary featurettes. You know, I remember seeing a bunch of those for like $1 at the Dollar Tree. I actually bought the DVD of one of them just to have it. Why not for $1? I saw it at the Dollar Tree and I said, I can't leave the store. I can't leave a store knowing that for $1 I can get another copy.
Right. You and those Dollar Tree pickups, man.
I have a couple of videos on my channel of some good hauls.
I remember for a while, like anytime you were talking about hauls, everybody was just politely breaking your balls about that on Killer Flicks. Like, damn it!
Right. I can take it.
Damn it, Robbie! Stay away from
balls, man.
It's like, stay away from the Dollar Tree. Damn it!
Haters gonna hate.
But yeah, I don't have the luck of a Dollar Tree anywhere close to me.
Oh,
it's Family Dollar.
I got 2 or 3 within a few miles.
I've been like, I saw that you were doing that, and I'm like, well, shit, he's doing it. And then I think Lee started doing that too, like grabbing shit from the Dollar Tree. It's like, you guys gave me that urge. It's like, fuck, I gotta go a few miles out of my way just to get to a Dollar Tree, and knowing my luck, there won't be anything worth grabbing there.
Yeah.
More of a revolution of society. Big Daddy is more a revolution of society, like in the original I Am Legend novel, as the zombies are the next stage in human evolution. They're the new race now.
Well, they're trying to be.
That is an interesting way to put that.
This has been fun, man. I'm glad that people are starting to, kind of take a little extra interest here in Romero films. I've noticed that, and it's cool. It's nice. He deserves it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Definitely deserve it.
Like it almost echoes back to what crew member was saying earlier, how a lot of people don't really start taking the initiative until after the person's work in question has passed away. And it's kind of true, and in some ways it is pretty unfortunate, but at least they're finally taking the time and effort to discover what a lot of people have been egging them on to do.
Yeah, better late than never type of thing.
Oh yeah. This one was a long time coming, and Steve, you missed the whole movie, my friend.
It's all right, man. You can always go back, right?
Absolutely. And if you do decide to check out the playback, Steve, I think it's about 20 minutes in that we start actually watching the movie. Tons of great conversation throughout.
Yeah, we like to have a focus on the film. We can get off track a little bit here or there, but we like to stay on the film as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
So try to have a fair balance, I suppose.
Yeah, no bummer, Steve, and no worry, buddy. But definitely looking forward to what Steve's got cooking for us in the old Sawyer kitchen. Got the Sawyer Massacre coming out, so definitely go and check that out, guys, if you haven't already.
I saw that trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You can tell that they really are fans of like that original film. Even some of the shots, are heavily inspired, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? That's that's what the fan film's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, like I do really enjoy the second one, but I still like the first one also. I'm kind of like an anomaly among horror fans when it comes to Texas Chainsaw. Like, I know it's a mixed bag of quality for the franchise.
It's all over the place.
But the first two films I hold in roughly the same regard, even though there's that drastic tonal shift.
Yeah,
But
I think one of the cool things about the second one, is that it tried to do something different. I think a lot of it is, we can't do the same movie again because it's already great. We're not going to touch it. We're not going to make it better.
right,
So might as well just go bonkers and do something completely different.
absolutely. Also, the only time you'll hear John Dugan perform dialogue as Grandpa. Interesting. Think the big Achilles heel. I need to bring that up so I can read that better. I think the big Achilles heel was this thoughted as his big return. Thought it as his big return. Hype nothing that would come.
I think he's basically trying to say that people were there were people stoked to see Romero, and it didn't deliver maybe as well as the others. Maybe also they did not. He said that there was big hype. There really wasn't.
Right.
It was not getting promoted out well. People were really on the Dawn remake, and it just didn't get. It just didn't get the love that it deserved, in my opinion, and it didn't get the attention from Universal and the production of it. I mean, the promotion.
Right. They
Now,
probably felt
I think maybe the hype was with the horror community. That could be that maybe.
right.
But and that's fair if that's what he was meaning there. But as far as actual like promotion from the studio, not really.
Yeah, I think
it
as far
was
as
only around a $15 million budget. They're not going to put a lot of time promoting a movie with $15 million budget.
right. Yeah, because it costs how many million to actually promote a damn picture at the end of the day. But
real quick, did you happen to see the rebooted Wrong Turn yet?
yes.
Okay, I just got it in the mail today, the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I watched it on Amazon Prime a few days ago. On a Saturday, we actually over on Jason Nike's channel did a Wrong Turn retrospective live video going through the franchise and then talking about the reboot near the end of the video. And if you haven't seen it yet, dude, all I'm going to tell you is it's different. Don't go in there expecting 1 through 6.
Yeah, I've been hearing mixed reactions, and usually the negative is, man, this is nothing like I expected. I want my Wrong Turn to be the same, but well,
Oh yeah, yeah. I was actually
once again, how many of the same movie are we gonna get? The last Turn that they had was practically a softcore porn movie.
Yes.
It was terrible. I like porn, as much as the next person. But this was terrible. It was like a bad, like late night Cinemax, cheesy softcore porn movie.
Right.
It was just dumb. It was bad.
Yeah, the last few it kind of felt like you were taping over a blank tape and you were channel surfing between a horror movie and a porno.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how they felt. Like, is this even the same fucking movie? But yeah, got that though. I liked it so much I had to buy it on hard copy.
Yeah, I got my Blu-ray. You know what? I'm a completist, so I'll look at my Wrong Turn movies here, and I can't not have a copy.
Yeah, I need to get 1 through 6 now. Like, I was looking at those on Amazon, and for the 6-pack, that thing's up to like $100 because I think a lot of that has to do with the hype over the franchise right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm better off just going through and just buying them individually for like $20 a piece if I need to.
Yeah, that's what I did over the years. I mean, my copy of the original is the same DVD that I had when it came out.
Yeah, I don't think I have my Wrong Turn 1 DVD anymore. I don't think I do. Oh, that's a feckin' bummer. Aiden says Universal did a bad job promoting Land, but I'm glad that it's gotten more respect over the years. I love this film. 100%. So, yeah, the hardcore Romero fans were expecting the Schindler's List of zombie movies. I know Universal did him dirty on the promotion of this film.
Yeah. It's a shame, but what can you do? You know, Romero did his best work when he was left alone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that man was a freaking genius, man.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely sorely missed, and for all intents and purposes, these last 4 watch parties are really a dedication to the man and his film work, his legacy. I mean, that's what we have been celebrating here. And it's been really awesome to do these Romero watch parties with you, Robbie.
Absolutely, man. It's a blast. It's great, you know, conversing through these, and you know, no matter how many times we can watch them alone, we always feel like we learn a little something when we do it together.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's great to have the people in the chat chiming in. That's a lot of fun, and I appreciate everybody's time.
absolutely. I can't thank you guys enough for jumping in here, and whether or not you're watching the movie along with us or just shooting the shit about the movie.
Yeah.
Gotta thank you guys first and foremost.
Absolutely.
As much as I thank Robbie, gotta thank you guys. And I gotta thank myself too for reasons I don't know. It just seems like it's polite.
Yeah.
I amuse myself. I don't know why.
Next up, we'll discuss and we'll get Return of the Living Dead going next.
Oh yeah, definitely find a date and time for that one, and definitely got some interesting stuff in store next February.
Oh yeah.
Provided that things go accordingly. I think there's some more Romero we could dive into next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about that and figure it out for sure.
Oh yeah, like actually have more proper planning too for it. Because honestly, guys, we pretty much just winged this. It was like I was just gonna do a review series, and piqued Robbie's interest. It's like, well, fuck it, let's do watch parties instead. Let's do watch parties. So it was really just improvised, only a few days out from the launch of it.
Yeah.
But it's been a freaking blast, man.
Definitely, bro. We'll keep it up. You know, you keep doing your hard work on your channel. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You know, the more time you put into it, you know, the quality is just going to continue to get even better than it is.
That's all I can hope for, man.
Yeah.
It's been a good one. We are just over the 2-hour mark, so I will tell you beautiful people out in the audience to have a good night. Keep watching the horror movies, stay filthy, and Robbie, you have any closing words for the fine
everyone
people?
continue to stay safe and keep watching your movies and just enjoy it, bro.
Damn right. Peace.